Well, let's get more on this from a security consultant, retired captain of the Nigerian Army, Captain Aliu Umaru, joins us via Zoom. A pleasure having you with us on the program.
Good afternoon.
Now, let's start from what you make of the situation in Imo State, back-to-back attacks, looking at the timeline of these similar attacks in the state. What's your take on it?
Well, if we look at what occurred and go back in time to similar experiences in the past, we begin to worry again. My worrying actually runs across different concerns. The first is, are we learning? Are we learning? Are we taking notes? Are we profiling situations? Don't forget, once upon a time in the Northeast, the Boko Haram sect, when they were about to start what we know they are doing now, first of all, needed to recruit foot soldiers. And the best way they could do that was to raid prisons and then disable law enforcement agency hubs in police stations. Now, raiding prisons comes with a very key concern. And that concern is when these people raid prisons, they actually free criminals. These freed criminals become fugitives, and rather than be on the run, they seek refuge in the camps of their liberators. Could this incident just be another of such build-up of initial recruits for a later onslaught? That's one. Two, there is another concern, given the location of the incident and the rather security intensive nature, learning any lessons from things that are happening in other states, probably because we feel we are far-flung or it cannot happen there. What we must put in mind is the modus operandi cannot be far-flung. An idea, once it is born, cannot be killed. So that method of doing things in the Northeast may just jolly well have been adopted and is playing out here within an area where we should actually least expect such effrontery and boldness in crime to occur.
Oh, Captain Umaru, I don't know whether you listened in earlier in the program when Mr. Dennis Amakri was talking about the DSS sharing this kind of intelligence to the police and the governor, but saying that they did not act on it. What do you make of this?
It's not new. It's not new, and that's why I say we are not learning. We have had severally in the past intelligence being shared, but not being utilized or acted upon. The issue in the Northeast, for example, intelligence was shared even years ahead, but nothing was done. There is this fire brigade approach to security situations that is become habitual with us. It's become our stock in trade. So if the DSS claim they shared intelligence and their intelligence was not used by what we call the action addressee, which in this case they claim is the police, it doesn't come as a surprise.
Well, the state governor describes this as the work of political detractors. Do you agree that this has political colorations written all over it?
I see that as mere verbiage. Let me tell you something. For you to know it's your political detractors before you even summarize as political detractors, that means you know the elements involved. I have to know you first before I summarize you are a channel's employee, for example. That's what I'm saying. So if you know they are political detractors, then why don't you further decompose it by telling us the know-how of your knowing they are political detractors? What I see these politicians do is the cheapest thing you can do. I'm not interested in who did it, whether he's a political detractor or an antagonist. What I'm saying is a crime has been committed, and the security agency involved were virtually sitting ducks. So what's the point in telling me who the detractors are? If you know who the detractors are, then you have known something. So decompose it and tell us whom you have in mind. This hopelessness of just giving us what you call demagoguery is not going to work. Political detractors, they could as well be the devil from hell. But for you to have known that it's the devil from hell means something led you to make that conclusion. We need to know what that something is so we can now hit the nail on the head.
Finally, Captain Umaru, the prisoners have been on the run. So how easy do you think it will be to get them back to the correctional facility in Owerri so that the people can rest easy, at least the residents can sleep with their eyes closed?
For now, excuse me, for now, it's not about getting the prisoners back into the prisons. There are probably even more criminals out here than there are in the prisons as far as insecurity trends is concerned. For now, what we need to do is the who, the why, and the how of what happened within that district, within that heavily security-heavy district. How will something happen for that long? And we're not even able to get one person. Who knew? What did he do about it? We start to bail our cats from there. Trust me, if you take this perspective, I'm telling you, gradually 1 and 1 will begin to add up to 2, and getting the prisoners is not a problem. It's not really a problem.
Captain Aliyu Umaru, a pleasure sharing your thoughts with us on the program.
Thank you.